Few figures have left as indelible a mark on history as Adolf Hitler. Born on a spring day, April 20th, 1889, in the small town of Braunau am Inn, nestled within the borders of Austria-Hungary. His early life, unremarkable in many ways, was filled with the ordinary trials and tribulations of a young boy growing up in late 19th century Europe. From these humble beginnings, nobody could have foreseen the disastrous impact Hitler would have on the world. The seeds of Hitler's reign were sown in the aftermath of World War I. As a wounded veteran, he found a platform in the German Workers' Party where his fiery speeches resonated with those disillusioned by Germany's defeat. The party soon morphed into the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party, with Hitler at its helm. His political ideology took shape in his autobiographical manifesto, Mein Kampf, or My Struggle. Penned during his stint in prison, the book laid out his vision for a racially pure society and a revived German empire. On the wave of this polarizing vision, Hitler navigated the tumultuous political landscape of the Weimar Republic. By 1933, he had maneuvered himself into the position of Chancellor of Germany. He consolidated his power through a combination of propaganda, intimidation, and the strategic suppression of opposition. Armed with a vision of racial purity and a charismatic fervor, Hitler had ascended to power. With Hitler at the helm, the world would soon face a horror like no other. His dictatorship was characterized by a series of discriminatory laws that targeted Jews, marking the inception of the Holocaust. A systematic, state-sponsored genocide, the Holocaust led to the persecution and ultimate extermination of 6 million Jews. It was a testament to Hitler's monstrous vision of a racially pure society, a vision that would cost countless lives. As his regime tightened its grip on power, Hitler's military strategies came into play. The invasion of Poland in 1939 was a chilling demonstration of his aggression, a move that would ignite the flames of World War II. Hitler's Blitzkrieg tactic, a method of warfare designed for swift and decisive victories, saw the Nazi forces conquer much of Europe before the Allies could mount a significant defense. It was a reign of terror that seemed unstoppable, as nation after nation fell under the shadow of the swastika. But perhaps the most horrifying aspect of Hitler's reign was the establishment of concentration camps. These were places of unimaginable suffering, where millions were imprisoned, tortured, and killed. Deemed inferior by the Nazi regime, Jews, Romani people, disabled individuals, and others were systematically murdered in an act of genocide, unparalleled in human history. Yet, even as the world reeled under the onslaught of Hitler's war machine, resistance was not entirely quelled. There were those who dared to defy Hitler, who stood against the tide of terror. Their courage, while often overlooked, was a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. Hitler's reign was a relentless campaign of terror, leaving behind a trail of death and destruction. His actions would forever scar the face of history, a testament to the devastating consequences of unchecked power and racial hatred. But even the most formidable reigns have an end. Hitler's hubris, embodied in his decision to invade the Soviet Union, proved a fatal flaw. The harsh winter and resilient Soviet forces turned the tide of World War II against Germany. As Allied forces closed in, Hitler found himself cornered in his Berlin bunker. Despite several assassination attempts throughout his reign, it was his own hand that ended his life on April 30th, 1945. This marked the end of the Third Reich and the conclusion of World War II in Europe. The world had been held hostage by a single man's vision of racial purity and totalitarian control, a vision that had cost millions of lives and left continents in ruins. With the fall of Hitler, the world breathed a sigh of relief. But the scars of his reign remained. His legacy, a stark reminder of the horrific potential of unchecked power and intolerance. Today, Hitler's legacy serves as a stark reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink. Historians continue to dissect his impact, unearthing lessons from the rubble of his regime. From the ashes of his tyranny rose international organizations like the United Nations dedicated to preventing such atrocities from recurring. Holocaust memorials stand as solemn reminders of the 6 million lives extinguished under Hitler's rule. In the horrors of Hitler's reign, we find a cautionary tale of the dangers of extremism and authoritarianism, a tale that must never be forgotten.